All right. Good morning, afternoon, depending on whatever time of day you are tuned into this. I know it's a great one because you're able to tune into it, and we're not going to take the blessing for granted. Yeah, you're not going to take that blessing. You are tuned into Facebook. We're good. Let me just share this out. Those of you who don't know, we go live Monday. Well, pretty much at this point, going live every day. Going live every day. Yeah. Yeah, going live every day at this particular point as football season ramps up. So let me just share this out. Facebook, that's done. And then, so where we go live is YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's primarily where I go live. And these are also become podcast episodes as well. So we get it all done. If you've been with me from jump, you know how far we've come, man. We have come a long, long way to really organize and get things done the way they're being done today. So if you have been with me from jump, truly, truly appreciate you all sticking around as long as you have. The support is not going unnoticed, number one. And number two, it's not being taken for granted. But three, I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I am really just scratching the surface in terms of what this brand can be, what the system's all about, and what I'm all about. So just believe, got a whole lot coming down the pipeline. So before I get into all of that, let me just introduce myself to anybody that may be new to this world, new to my world, new to this channel, new to me, new to what I'm all about. My name, Aswand Crookshank. I am your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player, and current 5-time, very soon to be 6-time published author and educator. I created this whole system, this whole brand, this whole concept, this whole way of life, this whole mindset. That's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and aligning them with businesses and business owners so they have a staff and a group of employees, staff and or a group of employees that moves as efficiently and as coherently and has that same desire, has that same strength, has that same power, has that same mentality of a championship high school or youth football team. I specifically go with the high school or youth because that's when the game is very pure. There's not a lot of money attached to it in regards to the players specifically getting paid, especially at the high school and the youth level. And, when you can gel, the biggest issue when people leave the school world, so to speak, and go into the working world is you start doing everything for a check, meaning you're not going to do this if you don't get paid X. And when you are in a situation where you're only doing it for the right amount of money, whatever amount of money sounds like a lot at the particular time in your life, that becomes an issue. So, a lot of it is just money mindset, which is why it's all about teamwork and making it so you're working with the right people that are going to develop you into where it is you're trying to be. All right. So all that being said, we have another Top 5 Tuesday. Top 5 Tuesday. Oh, how I love my Top 5 Tuesdays. My Top 5 Tuesdays. Every single Tuesday. Go check the receipts. Go check the receipts, folks. It's been every single Tuesday for over a year. There has been some top 5 of some sort, and it has been all different. I don't repeat stuff. Again, when you're a creator, when you do what I do, you got to constantly stay in the game to the point where it becomes a way of life. So all week, we are going to be breaking down. We started yesterday, and today we're going to continue, and tomorrow we're going to continue as well. We're breaking down the difference between believing someone and believing in someone. All right. Breaking down the difference between believing something and believing in something. When you add the believing in something or believing in someone, that's when things get real, because you really got to look within and see if you're observing the certain people, and everything is all about action. So we're going to be breaking those 5 points down today. Before I get into it, actually today, I'll also let today's Move Swiftly thought play, because I did wake up a little later this morning, if you can tell. Have my coffee now. I will let the Move Swiftly thought play today after I get through a few announcements. Yeah, I'll let today's Move Swiftly thought play. Unfortunately, I pressed the wrong button there. Ooh. Yes, I'll let today's Move Swiftly thought play. Let's see if we can come back on the screen. Come on now. Come on, come on, come on. It's back. All right, let me make sure we're good. That's why. All right, we're good. Yes, so first and foremost, let me just get through these announcements. Let today's Move Swiftly thought play, and then we'll get into the article that you see right here, Top 5 Tuesdays, how to know if you believe in a person or thing. And we'll run through those, and then we'll get out of here within that 35-minute mark. As I've been getting better in terms of my time and making sure the 35 mark is where I cut myself off, regardless of where I am. Because, if you know me, I can get to talking on certain topics, and then we just continue to keep going and going and going. All right. So first and foremost, business owners, as I mentioned, we're here to serve you. I am here to serve you. The system is here to serve you. Serve you. All right. You need to go. If you have not yet, go to freeguide.makeyourmove.com. That is freeguide.makeyourmove.com. We work from a very, very simple formula here. It is establishing measurables plus a professional distance, and that creates a productive environment. There's no other blueprint that's going to get you where you're trying to go. You need 1, 2, and that's going to get you to 3. All right. The measurables, the distance, and then the productive environment. That's what you need. So if you have not yet, go to freeguide.makeyourmove.com. I create a very simple to understand 10-step process in which you can utilize right now. That'll make it so your excuse me, your teams are that your team is running a whole lot more efficiently. You're getting the most out of your time. You're getting the most out of what it is you're trying to do. All right. That's freeguide.makeyourmove.com. Also, boxing lessons are open back up. If you've been following me on social, you see I found me a boxing gym. I'm getting back with the speed bag. I'm working with coaches, and I'm getting on the jump rope again. It feels so gratifying to be back in the boxing. You got to understand, for 4 years, that was me. That was my thing. That's what I was all about every single day. So I've opened them back up. I'm developing with the right coaches to the point where a year from today, I will be qualified to teach anybody that wants to go pro as a boxer. Like, I'd be qualified to do that. So my ability before, I was just, if you're looking at the video now, if you're watching on video, you see I'm just basically teaching some of the basic punches and stuff like that. But by the time I'm setting myself a timer, by the time we get into 2026, I'll be able to teach anybody that wants to go pro as a fighter. And then, I'm getting back in the game, and also being an educator, public speaker, all sorts of things are really just starting to come together. So if you're interested in not necessarily turning pro, or just learning how to develop your own combinations and get a good workout, schedule your free session with me. It's at freeboxing.makeyourmove.com. Anytime after about 6 to 9 p.m. That's the time slot. Just put your information in here, and we will get in touch with you in regards to what you need to do. Now, if you are a business owner and you're like, look, man, bump all that free stuff. I love Aswand's energy. I love what he's about. I love the whole concept. I love the whole brand. I love what it is all about. I love you too. All right. I love folks like that. In fact, those are my favorite folks. I ain't gonna lie to you. Just simply go to makeyourmove.com. You can hit the shop now button. Right there is where you can purchase an employee development workshop. You can purchase some of my books there. You can just do all the research that you need to be doing on me. You can see what my keynotes are about, my workshops are all about. All that stuff is there on makeyourmove.com. Turning your business into a championship team. It is common knowledge that the best way to win in business or in life is by avoiding ways to lose. Whether you've just started a new business or you've been in business for quite some time, there's no getting around the need to hire or outsource certain elements of your organization so things can run as efficiently as possible. When you book your meeting with Aswand, he'll diagnose what the issues are with your current system and then strategically create a system in which will lead to a reduced amount of turnover or a clear understanding of the parts of your business that need to be outsourced. Boom! that's what we're about. So as I said, I'm going to let today's Move Swiftly thought play. I'm going to let it play. It is, I just posted it. And I will be a quick run through. It's only 3 minutes and 41 seconds long. It'll be a real quick run through of, in fact, you know what? Let me not make that. Let me not let it play. Actually, let me not let it play. I'm not gonna let it play. And the reason I'm not gonna let it play is because I just monetized it. And if I put it on this one, then I might get demonetized. I might get demonetized. So I don't know. I don't think I will, but I might. But I might get demonetized, and I'm not about that right now. I'm really not in the mood for dealing with all the demonetization. I'm already 10 minutes in. So let's just get into Top 5 Tuesday. Let's just get into it. Let's just get into the article. So I'll break everything down through the article. So again, we're not letting it play, but if you do want to go watch it yourself, if you want to, so here's how it works. In fact, I'll just kind of briefly explain how it works a little bit. Here's the way the system works here. Especially if you're new around here, you'll get the hang of it and understand that if you're going to be producing a high level of quality content on such a frequent basis, it's unrealistic to think that you can do it without having some sort of a solid system in place that allows you to show up every single day and produce the quality content that you want. So for me, there's several facets in which I put out my material. Number one, there's a Medium article where I'm gonna go through in a second. Number two, there's a live stream that goes around 35 to 40 minute mark, long form content. Next thing is something called a Move Swiftly Thought, a daily Move Swiftly Thought. If you saw how I got to my YouTube channel, you'll see it goes to makingmove.com, innovative teamwork. And then you could right here, follow us on YouTube, stay connected with us on YouTube, enjoy the daily motivational videos that can be shared and used to teach anyone how to make several mental adjustments to see the silver lining in whatever happens to them in life. So right here is my way of reaching out to people on a daily basis. And I call it something called the Daily Move Swiftly Thought. This started, as you can see, this is Daily Move Swiftly Thought number 1,316. All right, I've been doing it for a long time, as you can see. All right, it's been a long time, and whether it's current events, new events, there's always going to be something every single day when it comes to the Daily Move Swiftly Thoughts. It started a while ago. Started back when I was getting coached up by my guy Dre, and he kind of. I was at a point where I was only doing episodes, new episodes like Monday or Tuesday and Friday or something. I was only doing new episodes 2 days a week or something like that. And then he looks at me and goes, well, what about the other 5 days a week? And, made me want to say, all right, look, I got to create something that's daily. I'm a daily runner. So I figured, hey, let's just knock it all out. Let's capture that feeling that you have right after a run. And then, record myself on whatever current event is going on. So that's how the Daily Move Swiftly Thoughts got started. And then that developed into, again, articles, pretty much daily articles. And then with daily articles, there's also daily live streams. So whether you like reading, whether you just like short form content, or whether you want to hear the content fully through, we got you covered no matter what. All right. So that's how it works. I was going to play the Daily Move Swiftly Thought, but I just realized as I was about to do it, I realized that I had already turned the monetization on for that. So I didn't want this to get demonetized because it was going, so all that stuff gets really, really confusing because it's just the way it is. So all that being said, let's just get into the article now. Top 5 Tuesday. How to know if you believe in a person or thing. Breaking it down. All right. So the drill. Top 5 Tuesday. And if you were here for yesterday's Making Move Monday, then this week is all about belief. More specifically, the difference between believing someone and believing in someone. All right, let me say that again for the people in the back, for the people up in the back, in the way, way, way back of the congregation. Okay, there's a difference between believing someone and believing in, capital I, capital N. Believing in someone. There is a difference, a major difference. All right. And we broke that down a little bit yesterday believing someone or something is really, really surface level. It's a really surface level thing. Right now, I can tell you, I believe this table is here. I believe this keychain here. I believe it. But believing in takes a little more of a self-reflection. Takes a little more of a conscious set of values, a conscious way of thinking. So hey, I believe in the person or the thing. There's a major thing that you have to, there's major hoops that you have to climb in terms of how you're going to recognize the belief in something versus just the belief of a thing. All right. So let's be clear. All right. Now I'm about to answer the question now because I spoke about this yesterday. Let's be clear. Action reveals the truth. If you're building your life, your business, or your team based on someone's words, or instead of behavior, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Come on. Let me get a little sip of coffee now. I'm going to read that sentence again. I'm going to read that paragraph again. All right. Because a lot of you folks are guilty of doing this very thing. You're guilty of being this person that is just about words, and you're guilty of believing someone that is just talking, and talking. All right. Let's be clear. Action reveals the truth. If you're building your life, your business, or your team based on someone's words instead of their behavior, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. So how do you spot the difference? Here are the top 5 ways to know if you're believing in a person or a thing. Number 1, first thing, productive leisure time. All right. Productive leisure time, meaning when you don't have something to do, when a person is apparently not busy or is doing something or doesn't have much time or is kind of, no, that's not it. Right. It's kind of just passing the time. Are they being productive during their leisure time? And we all have leisure time, all right? Are you being productive during those hours? Let me read through it and then we'll address it. Productive leisure time. What people do when they have nothing to do tells you everything you need to know. Case in point, I was at a Duffy sports bar when TikTok went down. The manager. All right, so let me break this story down a little more because it was the day. So it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday that day, a couple months ago, if you can recall, that TikTok just went down. And you saw it on your phone. I didn't have the app at this point, but I was at a sports bar when it happened, and people were so upset, and they were showing me on their phone that TikTok, you're not allowed to use TikTok until I guess some people in China work with Trump and they work out some sort of a deal where you're able to use TikTok. It just went down automatically. And there was a manager at Duffy's where I was watching the game, and they're like, "Oh my God, how am I going to waste time now?" She was saying it in a jokingly way, but it was serious. It was like, yeah, there's people who burn hours of their day. If you add up all of the hours that some people spend on TikTok and scrolling and social media and all that bullshit, there's literally hours of time being wasted that can be used in a productive manner. Now, me personally, I'm not going to act like I don't scroll, but if you were to look at some of the things that I look at, all of it will be all of it will be other publics. We're going to talk about this later on, the reasons, but all of it will be other thought leaders and other people that are going to help me, are going to say something in some video, and I'm going to pick up on some, and it's going to be able to turn into some content for myself. You can't just be a consumer of content. At some point, you got to be the person producing it, or you're just wasting fucking time. Okay, productive leisure time. And then again, I get that she was joking, but it's serious stuff, right? So, case in point, I was once at a Duffy sports bar when TikTok went down. The manager joked, "Oh no, what am I gonna do with all my free time now?" It got laughs, but it also revealed something deeper. Compare that with Coach Nick Saban during the peak of Alabama's dynasty. On a flight, a laptop was open, watching film, not because he had to, but because winning was in his DNA. That's productive leisure time. That's what separates someone you believe in from someone who just fills space. Hear me, all right? Because this is important. I gotta break that last part down. This was, I want to say, maybe about had to be a couple of years ago, back when Alabama ran college football, all right? And they were, Nick Saban was this person that just couldn't do any wrong. By the way, make sure you tap in with me on Film Session Saturday. We break down college football every single Saturday. And I found a location to host my own college football show this year. We're starting that in August. Make sure you tap in with me there. There'll be more announcements coming in regards to that. However, this was back when Nick Saban ran college football. Hear me, he ran. I mean, just year after year, Alabama. There was one year where Kirk Herbstreit had his they gave his top 5 list of teams. I think he had Alabama number 1 and then Alabama A number 3 or something like that. So they were that good, then that dominant. All right. So they did a ton of documentaries on Nick Saban and what he's all about and what he's doing. And I remember he was on a plane and the cameras were obviously on Nick Saban. And I saw the same film software that I had when I played at Stony Brook University. And it's probably the same across all colleges in terms of the software that they use to store all their film, practice film, game film, stuff like that. And I see Nick Saban, he's on a plane and he's watching tape, watching guys, watching recruits. That's productive leisure time. He's not getting on a plane and just looking at how nice his rings are and enjoying some of the fruits of his day. Nah, he's putting in the work that makes it so they can continue to be great. That's how you can believe in someone. When people are doing things like that, this is why just the other day, Stephen A. Smith got so much slack about playing solitaire when he's supposed to be working, covering an NBA game. Now, I didn't address that one myself, but that's kind of the things that were being said or the things that were being insinuated. Again, I think Stephen A. works really hard at what he does. Like him, hate him. Again, I don't listen to his football stuff now. His basketball stuff I'll consume, and some of his politics I'll consume. But the football stuff, I just can't take it. But I do respect, the doors he's opened for folks like myself. The issue that people took is that you're in your leisure time and you're not being productive. You're supposed to be watching a damn game and breaking it down and analyzing it. And people at the cameras are catching you on solitaire, right? That's what we mean when we say productive leisure time, right? So number 1, you got to be productive in your leisure time. Number 2, you can see it right there on the screen. You do not force a connection. All right. I cannot tell you the importance of this one. You cannot force connections in this world. The world right now is connected enough to where folks can smell it on you. In fact, I just heard, shout out to my guy Dre, because I just heard him. I heard his episode yesterday about why social media won't ever be real life or something like that. And he made a solid point, because he said, with the advancements of artificial intelligence, the people like myself who can actually be human, who teach folks how to use their own common sense and can teach how to become intelligent, folks like me are going to become a whole lot more valuable to businesses, because since everybody is using AI, they need some people who are actually human, who have human intelligence, human thought leaders, human folks who have the common sense factor, and then can figure out how to utilize AI. All right. That's what's going to be needed. This leads right into number 2. Number 2 is you do not force connections. Don't force the connection. All right. Networking is intentional. Ass kissing is manipulative. People who are worth believing in don't chase popularity. They don't try to wedge themselves into conversations with fake laughs and ulterior motives. They show up, speak clearly, connect over shared missions. They lead with presence, not pretense. Presence, not pretense. They don't bullshit you. They don't force a connection in so many words, right? And you can feel it when someone's bullshitting you. You can feel it when someone's just telling you what they think you want to hear, because they're making prejudgments on the way you're going to think. They force a connection because of some ulterior motive or something that they have in their own head or something that they want to do. You can spot those. You're a human being and you can sense it. All right. If someone gives off the vibe of forcing rapport or constantly performing for approval, believe what they're showing you. That right there is a major one. It's a major one because of the world we live in. And believe it or not, because we have AI and social media and all this stuff going on, what starts to happen is people are kind of left out in the cold. They don't know where they fit in. So when they run into certain people, they force a connection and they try to force it and force it and force it and force it. And it becomes so manipulative, and it becomes so fake, and it just annoys the shit out of people, right? The people that are really doing it, really out there getting stuff done on a day-to-day basis. So number two, they do not force connections. Number three, a major one over here in the Move Swiftly world. If you are not new, this is a lot of the stuff we discuss, a lot of what we build our business around. All right. They have few close friends, but know a lot of people. Hear me, folks. Few close friends, but know a lot of people. All right. There's a difference between having a ton of friends, or having a bunch of people that you refer to as friends, versus just knowing a lot of people and a lot of people knowing you. You got to get to that place where you become so superior. We'll say so exclusive, right? So exclusive with your time, and be someone that not a lot of folks can just get to. You have to get to that point. You have to really, really understand this. And it really boils down to a lot of what we're talking about today, to where are you measuring folks by their actions, not their words, not what they say they want to do. And, again, all of us have dreams and goals and desires and all that kind of stuff. But that stuff fades. That stuff changes. We spoke about that yesterday, right? Right here at the school I teach at. There's a playground right now being built that was supposed to be built a year ago, but it took more time than the person expected to raise the money. But it's not like it just isn't getting built. It's not like the actions weren't being taken to get it done. And now it's getting done. It takes, again, fewer close friends, but you know a lot of people and you tried a lot of things. All right. Myself, I remember just having this conversation the other day with my girl, because I would kind of tell her all the time, I don't know nobody, and I'm in Florida, and I didn't grow up here, and I don't really know people like that. And as she's gotten to know me, she realized, no, Aswand knows a lot of people. It's a lot of people. He just doesn't call these people friends. There's acquaintances, there's podcast guests, there's people I've met at bar, there's all sorts of people that will know Aswand, but there's very few people that he would actually consider a friend. What I'm reading directly from the article now, guys, podcast listeners. When you believe in someone, it's because you know they aren't distracted by shallow popularity. Come on, people in the back, take them to church, baby. Come on. When you believe in someone, it's because you know they aren't distracted by shallow popularity. Real belief comes from intimacy, not visibility. There's a big difference between having 5,000 LinkedIn connections and 5 people who will move mountains for you. Boy, that's good. There's a big difference between having 5,000 LinkedIn connections, or millions Instagram followers, or millions of YouTube subscribers, or tons of people that you can point to and say, look at all the friends I have on this social platform. You pick it, versus having 5. I said 5 people in your corner that will move mountains for you. Know your story, know what you're about, and a ride or die. Day ones. 5. That's it. That's a lot. That's even a lot. Again, few close people that really get it, really got your back through thick and thin, versus all the other bullshit that social media and the internet likes to make you feel like you have. 5 people. That's it. That your inner circle should be made up of people who feel more like family than friends. And if you're watching someone who keeps their tribe tight and intentional, that's someone to believe in right there. That's a huge sign. It's a huge sign. All right, a huge sign in believing in someone, again, or if you're the person that's trying to be believed in, there has to be a real cohesion, a real connect, a real intentional value in regards to who you put in your circle. I cannot stress that enough. There's so many of you out there chasing clout, chasing followers, chasing all the other bullshit that comes with the social media world that we live in, and you are exalting yourself of the possibility of ever having anything real happen in your life, because you're more so thinking about, I gotta appease a lot of people, as opposed to just appeasing the people that really give a damn and really give a shit about you, that even are in a place to give a shit about you. All right. Number 4, because that one right there I can talk for an hour about. Let me get to number 4. Number 4, they constantly talk about what's next. within 60 seconds, you can usually tell what mindset someone is operating from. Are they reliving the past or are they building towards the future? People worth believing in are obsessed with progress. They may have gone through hell, but they use that experience as fuel, not a crutch. Your past only matters if you're packaging it in a way that helps others move forward. Let me just explain to you as an author, something I've learned as an author, someone that, again, anybody that really does want to get to know me can put in one Google search and there'll be all sorts of information that they can read up on. And as a person that has it all out there, publicly out there, I will tell you something from right now that you need to hear. You need to hear. No one gives a shit about your past or your story, whatever you've done in the past. No one gives a shit about it until it's something that's beneficial to them. Meaning they don't care about your story. They don't care about what you lived through. They don't care about all the shitty things that happened to you in the past. They don't care about it until it becomes something that's actually beneficial to them. That's when they start caring about your story. All these famous people that you see out there, all these people that get a lot of followers and a lot of engagement, a lot of publicity, and a lot of attention, it's only because the people that follow them or the people that are fanatics about them are now, they use their story as a way of benefiting their own worth and their own self-value. If you understand my point, which means if you're going to be someone that people can believe in, your whole mentality, your whole aura, your whole mindset has to be about what's next. What's next? What's next? What about, again, my favorite play I've ever watched. Again, I will argue with anybody who's willing to have the argument that Ray Lewis is the greatest football player to have ever played the game. I remember year 17, he would say it all. There's a camp that he would be talking as a guest speaker at a camp. He goes, years 1 through 17, throw it away. Already done that. What's next? What's next? And that's the mentality, folks. That's the mentality. If you want to believe in somebody, they are all about what's next. And you'll know it. You'll know it within the first 60 seconds because they won't be complaining about the bullshit that happened to them in the past. Again, if you want to know what happened in my past, go read it, do what you got to do. But you're not going to hear me constantly talk about it as if it's something that won't be beneficial to somebody. If I bring up a story from my past, if I bring up something I've lived through, it's being told in a way that benefits you, that's benefiting a listener, that's benefiting a viewer. Hey, lived through this on the playing field, so-and-so happened and I had to do this, I had to do that, and I learned some accountability and I was able to compare it to when I was at work, when I was this and this, that. That's how it's being told. You understand the difference? There's a difference between just reliving the past and packaging your past stories in a way that's going to be beneficial to somebody else. All right. Now, final one, number five. They admire those who've achieved real success. And this is going to lead in, I'm going to close you guys out soon with this one, because this is going to lead into what we're going to talk about tomorrow on Wintrapreneur Wednesday. Oh, another great day, another great thing we do around here. Wintrapreneur Wednesday. So, number 5, they admire those who achieved real success. All right. So the ones who have done it before, you dream up whatever it is you're trying to dream up. You build up whatever it is you have in your own head. You got your vision. It's tight. You're out there working. You're pitching away. You're shaking hands. You're kissing babies. You're doing whatever you need to do to get your business and get your stuff together. All right. And then you go and you look on YouTube or you look somewhere else and somebody else already got it. Somebody else already got a nice platform, a nice setup. They established, they doing their thing. And you like, okay, you can either be that hating mofo, right? You can be that hating mofo that sees somebody else doing something great and say, that he ain't doing it here. Or you could be the person that says, okay, let me take some notes. Let me pull out my notepad. And let me take some notes about what he's doing. Let me put something together. Let me figure out how I can maybe establish and get some of my spin to it and put some of my flavor into what's already built. You pick. I'm telling you right now, you pick the side of being a hater. The stuff isn't going to go down. People aren't going to go anywhere just because your ass is hating, right? Just because your ass is hating on somebody else that built up their own shit. It's not going to go down. It's not going to help your situation. Your situation is only going to be helped when you decide, you see that person and you start jotting down some notes and you start getting a little better. You start saying, okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of what he got. Like for me, first, I'm gonna take a little bit of what Dre got. I'm gonna take a little bit of what Brandon Taylor. I'm gonna take a little bit of what Alex Hermosi got. I'm gonna take a little bit of that Tony Robbins. I'm taking a little bit of that Jay-Z. Some of that, I'm taking a little bit of all that stuff so I can get it done. And all right, you know what? I'm getting long-winded on you. Let me get to the last part of the article. This one hits home. Tomorrow on Wintrapreneur Wednesday, we'll be featuring Jim Weber, the mastermind behind the resurgence of Brooks Running. Brooks didn't try to be Nike. It didn't chase hype. It stayed consistent. It served runners and it thrived. That story matters to me because it reflects my own blueprint. When I first became a college football scout, the best advice I ever received was simple. Be the scout. Do the reps. Build a relationship. Watch the tape. Actually lay eyes on the athlete. And then that mindset turned into an entire channel. Film Session Saturday, which I showed you guys, or I talked a little bit about earlier. Film Session Saturday. This comes from years of when I left college and I was a scout and I had to actually watch the games. All right. And that only happened because I believed in myself first. All right. I believed in Aswand Crookshank first. Final word. Belief comes from within. So before you start trying to identify who you believe in, ask, do you believe in yourself? Hear me. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in yourself? Not believe yourself, but believe in yourself. That has to be the question. Typically, it reflects the situation, the problem that a lot of folks have is they're always looking outward for belief. Start believing in yourself and your own abilities, and then you're going to start to see things start changing in your own damn life. Because when you believe, when you live these principles, when your leisure time, your network, your mindset, and your influences all reflect intentional growth, the world can't help but follow. Mic drop. When you start doing these things, the world is going to get out your way. People and all the haters and all the bullshit that you got to deal with, they're going to get out of your way because you have the mindset, the tunnel vision to say, I believe in myself. I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in my principles. I believe in what I'm all about. I believe in it wholeheartedly. I'm so soaked up in believing in what I'm all about that nothing is going to stop me. Regardless, we will figure it out. Okay, I'm still on the coffee, guys, so bear with me. Let's just recap real quick before I let you guys out of here. Top 5 Tuesday, we're breaking down the top 5 ways to know if you're believing in someone or something. Number 1, productive leisure time, right? Number 2, they don't force connections. Number 3, they have few close friends. Know a lot of people, but few close friends. Number 4, they're constantly talking about what's next. And number 5, they admire those who have achieved real success and have done things before them. All right, have done the things that they want to do before them. Again, main website to dive deeper into all the work I'm doing and what I'm all about. It's makeyourmove.com. It's makeyaamove.com. Be sure you're asking about the employee development workshops and what we're all about and how I can get your staff to have this kind of energy and take this kind of approach to work every day. If you went out there as one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.